Neighbors told us they're worried for their safety after a man told police he was forced to shoot when an enraged homeless man charged him.
Well, new at 6, 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is live in Midtown where it happened with new details about the moments before the attack. Steve?
Kim, it was a loud argument between a homeless man who was screaming and kicking at the door of that Cloverleaf Market over there and a neighbor who came by to check out things who was armed with a handgun. One shot was fired, the homeless man injured, and the neighbor with a gun arrested.
At this time, he enters a not guilty plea.
Antonio Barragan quietly entered a plea of not guilty to the charge of discharging a firearm. A 10 News camera caught this video of him in the back of a squad car that night. It was about the time that Evelyn McAvoy happened by. A resident here for several decades, she's aware how some homeless act out.
They get a little bit erratic, I guess, in their behavior, and you could be minding your own business, and they just start going off, and you just, being people, most people try to avoid fights, but sometimes, like the clerk in there, he couldn't avoid it.
The prosecutor told of Barragan arguing with a man.
He stood about 20 feet away from the victim. He held the firearm to his side, and he ordered the victim a number of times to leave the area.
Then the moment of violence.
The victim ran toward the defendant. His hands were behind his back. The defendant fired a single round into his shoulder, and the victim then ran off from there.
The homeless man didn't have a weapon, but another store clerk said he thought he might have something hidden behind his back. The defense attorney expressed confidence that Barragan won't be convicted.
He is a student. He's a student. He studies architecture. He's got strong ties to the community. Many of his students, fellow students, are here in support.
Those who live and work near here say there is growing concern about safety.
Well, I may take a different route going downtown from where we live and make sure the kids aren't down in this area.
Now that homeless man is recovering from his wounds. Barragan's free on $50,000 bail. If he's convicted, he faces up to 17 years in prison. Live in Midtown, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.